One of the things that I feel like I need to work on as a teacher is just approaching things from a whole lot of perspectives. And sometimes you get zeroed in on one thing. And I feel like working with Tomoko has helped me just look at the larger picture rather than focusing in on one thing.
For me, I don't sit still very easily, and I'm always looking for the next step in terms of education or in technology to bring back to my classroom. Unfortunately, with my particular subject, if you end up staying in the same context or the same curriculum, you will fall behind, and then in turn the students fall behind. So a program like this is perfect. It keeps me up to date, it keeps me doing what I'm passionate, and then the students benefit from it.
I felt that what I got out of the program was useful to me as a lifelong learner. I learned a lot, and it was information that I could take back to my students and share those experiences with my students and my fellow colleagues. So I think it was a win-win not only for me, but for my students and for the teachers.
Well, it's just a great opportunity for me to grow. Every summer I like to do something that helps me learn stuff, become current. And you know, I often found these kinds of experiences provide motivation for going into a new school year, sort of recharge the batteries, and get some opportunity to become more, have more background knowledge associated with the subject that I teach.
I've been teaching for long enough now that I kind of felt like I was starting to have a disconnect between teaching theory and what it's actually like to work in a STEM field. So I thought that since I have a summer free to work on my career, that it would be a good opportunity to get out of the classroom and see what it's really like in a STEM career and bring that knowledge back to my students to help them become successful in a STEM career.
When I got the email about the program from one of my colleagues, it said that they were going to put STEM teachers in STEM fields. And since I'm a math teacher, but I've never been outside of a classroom, it kind of sounded perfect. It's an experience that I don't have, that I think I thought at that point in time, if I had that experience, that I would be able to be more dynamic of a teacher and really try to interest kids in pursuing STEM careers. I don't have that experience, or I didn't have any kind of experience going in, and it just felt like I was trying to push them towards something that I didn't know what I was talking about.
I've always been interested in manufacturing, and it's always been a passion of mine, and the importance of being able to bring back some of those real-world occurrences back to the classroom. When I first saw this program was available to tech teachers, I started the application, and it's been great ever since.
I just love learning. So it was about my 9th year teaching, or 8th year I think I finished teaching, and I just wanted a rejuvenation, and that was really the driving force for me applying to the program. And just, you know, brushing up on like science in a lab, because I hadn't done that since my undergrad. And I remember those days and it being very exciting and challenging, and I think that's something that I needed to bring back to my classroom to kind of feel the same way my students do.
This is probably the best way to get relevant information to your students in the science field. It's a way for me to show them something tangible that they can do with this curriculum, like for physics, for instance. By having those 2 placements in my 2 previous years, this is work that I have done that relates to what we're learning. This is something that I was able to do, and I'm going to show you that this is something that you can do as well.
I'm on year 11 of teaching, and I was starting to struggle relating the real world to my students. I get a set of standards to teach these standards to the student, but what are they actually using when they get out into the field? What are they going to use, and how are they going to be successful? You drive by buildings all the time, and you don't know what's going on in those buildings. And now I can bring that back to my students and go, this is what I experienced, this is what I saw. These are the things that are happening every day. And instead of it just being a standard on the board, it's now a real life connection.